Before Islam spread across lands, before it became known to the world, there was a moment when it was small and vulnerable. In those early days, the people who believed in Islam were not powerful. They were oppressed. They were hunted. Some were tortured simply for what they believed. So the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, didn't tell them to fight back. He told them to leave. He told them to seek safety. And the place he chose was Africa. At that time, across the Red Sea, there was an African kingdom called Abyssinia. Today it's part of Ethiopia and Eritrea. The Prophet described its ruler as a man of justice, a king under whom no one was treated unfairly. So a small group of Muslims crossed the sea, men, women, even children. They carried almost nothing with them, except faith and hope. When they arrived, they were brought before the king. His name was Ashama ibn Abjar, known in history as al-Najashi. Some people tried to turn the king against them. They offered gifts. They demanded the refugees be sent back. But the king didn't rush to judgment. He listened. One man stepped forward to speak for the Muslims. His name was Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, the cousin of the Prophet. Ja'far didn't insult anyone. He didn't beg. He calmly explained who they were, what they believed, and how Islam had changed their lives. Then he recited verses from the Quran, verses about Mary and Jesus. The king listened quietly, and when Ja'far finished speaking, the room was silent. The king was moved. He said that what he had just heard and what Jesus had taught came from the same source. He rejected the bribes. He refused to hand the Muslims over. And just like that, Africa became the first place in the world to give Islam protection. The Muslims lived there for years. Among them were people who would later become very important in Islamic history. Uthman ibn Affan, Salama, and Ruqayya, the daughter of the Prophet. They didn't just pass through Africa. They lived normal lives there. They prayed, worked, married, and raised families. Africa wasn't just a shelter, it was home. Years later, when the African king died, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did something unusual. From far away, he stood and prayed a funeral prayer for him. An African king, a man who ruled with justice. After that, Islam continued to spread across Africa, slowly. Not through war, not through force, but through trade, character, and trust. Merchants who were honest, teachers who were patient, communities who lived by example. Africans observed, Africans chose, and over time, Islam became part of African life. Islam didn't erase African identity. It blended into it. African languages carried the prayers. African hands built the mosques. African communities shaped the faith in their own way. So when we talk about Islam in Africa, we're not talking about something borrowed. Africa was there at the beginning. Africa gave Islam safety when it had nowhere else to go. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel at The Erased Empires